Hello, my lovely people, and welcome back to my channel, where I talk everything and all about fears, anxiety, panic attacks, and how to gently work on your subconscious mind and to explain, what is happening in your mind and why you behave the way you behave, so that you have that awareness. And then when you have that awareness, you have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge, everything becomes more clear, more focused. People say that knowledge is nothing, right, without implementation. But you cannot implement if you don't know. So knowledge is the first thing that you need to know. And here I am to talk to you about why you become anxious. Why are you anxious? One of the most uncomfortable feelings, depression, I would say depression also has this very uncomfortable sadness, suffering, lack of meaning. But anxiety can be like debilitating. It can be never-ending, constant reminder that you have a fear, that you are fearful of something, that you worry about things that are going to happen, or regretting the things that have happened. And the first thing that I want to say is I'm very grateful that you're here with me, that you decided to watch this video. I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for everyone who will watch this video, because it's very, very important once you understand why you become anxious. From the point of view of the power of your subconscious mind and what it does for you, and what why your mind comes up with worrying, though it's a very natural feeling to be worried about something. You need to be worried about reasonable things like saving your life. But when your mind comes up with scenarios, events, catastrophizing, and worrying about things that are actually not important in our life, though we make it important, then it becomes very uncomfortable, painful, and we just stuck in the suffering. Like, why would we do that? I'll explain to you why our mind does that. So, why you become anxious? First is because you don't have a knowledge yet how your mind works. And this is why I'm here, to tell you how your mind works. The second reason is you have a big split between subconscious mind and your logic. Your logic wants one thing and your subconscious mind knows the other thing. And it's like, they cannot communicate between each other. And the bigger the split, the higher the anxiety. Another one is you started to put importance on things that are actually not that important. For example, you started to realize that money is very important, and you start to be fearful that you can lose what you already have. Or you might put high expectation on what you want, desires, right? Desires, the cause of our anxiety. You can put such a high expectation on what you want from your financial situation that it can bring a lot of anxiety for you. So also, you might have beliefs about anxiety. You might have beliefs that anxiety is a diagnosis. It's the end. That's it. I won't be able to do anything about it. And that helplessness creates more anxiety, creates more worry, because deep inside, you know that you shouldn't feel like that. You know that there is a way to not feel anxiety and only feel fear when, in some life-threatening situation. So when we are born, right, we need two things: connection and safety. That's it. What you need is to feel safe and to feel connected. So lots of cuddles, lots of love, lots of physical touch. And when we don't get it, that's when we start to have beliefs, and I'll talk more about that. If you do have it, then you feel safe. And all of your picture of the world will look like, okay, world is safe. I'm loved, I'm worthy, I'm praised, I'm accepted, and all of my needs are met. But for many people, it's not like that. It doesn't happen like that. So what happens in our life, right? That we start to have that, that dissolves our inner peace. Because we are born with that inner peace, with confidence that everything is going to be great. The universe will give me everything. So I don't have to be worried about anything. However, when we grow up, something changes. What happens with the self-love? We are born we love ourselves. And sometimes it's like if you look right now at the people who love themselves unconditionally, for many people, it will feel like, oh, it's so selfish because they prioritize themselves. But this is how we are born. This is how we are born, to love ourselves unconditionally. And when that doesn't happen, we start to change ourselves. We start to change. So, for example, if you feel like you're growing in that family dynamic that your parents only praise you when you are doing great in school, then of course you will start to believe that I have to be great and best in school so that I can be loved. I can't be just myself. I cannot be myself because I won't be loved. I won't be accepted. So another one is survival. Our survival instinct sometimes is underused. It's just bored. So when we are born, if you think about like thousands and thousands of years ago, and even not thousands, but hundreds of years ago, we used to use our survival instinct very actively. People worked a lot, moved a lot, exercised a lot, naturally, connected to nature, worked physically a lot. And when we don't, our survival brain wants to be in use. And that survival brain is what gives us a lot of worry, a lot of those pictures in our mind that create anxiety. So movement, right, is very important if you want to release anxiety. Challenges are not bad. When you challenge yourself, you actually are exercising your survival brain. And that's not bad because it's good. It won't create any other pictures and scenarios in your life and in your mind. Another one is connection. If you didn't get enough connection in your childhood, what will happen when you are an adult? You will worry about staying connected to something. You will have these unhealthy attachments sometimes. You will want love. You will seek love. You will manipulate people to get love if you didn't get that connection. Or you will connect to something else, like alcohol, substances, just to feel connected to something. And that also creates worry and anxiety. Another one is when all of that happens, your inner peace, the peace that you were born with, the self-confidence, right? The self-belief, self-love, everything that actually dissolves anxiety, it becomes so distant that you don't even believe you can have it. You don't even really believe that, oh, it's something that is not available to me. I have to be someone. So what we start to do is we start to substitute it with something, to substitute that inner peace with working hard to the point of burnout, being perfect, overachieving, seeking unhealthy connections, attachments, manipulating, because we need to fill that void where the inner peace was in the beginning. What triggers anxiety? Anxiety is triggered by anything. Sometimes you know what triggers your anxiety. For example, a situation, a fight, an argument with your partner, your kids, they're not behaving the way you want them because you have requirements. By the way, requirements, they create anxiety because you require someone to be the way you wanted it. But I'll be very honest with you. Who are you to require someone to be the way you want? Everyone has their own nature. Your kids as well, they're completely different human beings. And if you require for them to be the way you wanted it, that's when they start to shut down themselves and they start to be worried if they're going to be loved by you. And if they have to change themselves to shut down their confidence, right? So be very careful. Accept your kids as completely different human beings. Just love, compassion, and understanding. That's all they need. And eventually you will see an amazing result of that parenting. So what triggers? It can be event, argument. It can be a person. It can be a situation. And it all triggers the images in your mind. Images, right? So you start to create image and your mind doesn't know the difference between image and real thing. And your mind is the best production company. It creates scenarios that, Hollywood would not even really compete with it. So It's the ability of our mind to protect us. And if it's a reasonable fear, yes, okay. But in most cases, it's very unreasonable. Sometimes in your life, you make things very important. Not you, but based on the experiences you experienced, you understand that, okay, career is the most important thing in my life. And you will be worried about that. So if you make certain activity, certain part of your life very important, that's where you focus on, and that's what you become anxious about. For example, career. If you were growing up and your caregivers were always telling you that you have to find a good job, the job has to be well paid, you need to do this, this, and this, you will focus around that career, and you will be afraid of losing your job. Being afraid of changing an industry and actually following your passion if you find something in life that really attracts you in terms of like, I want to do this for my whole life, but you still have that belief that your parents said that, you need to be a doctor or an accountant or a real estate agent, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. People get passionate about anything. You need to be passionate about what you do in order to not have anxiety about any career goals. If at some point you saw your family was struggling with money, or one of your parents or both were very worried about their financial state, maybe you were growing up in poverty, money can become a big cause of anxiety. For example, losing money, losing business, going bankrupt. And because, as you know, system wants you to be in debt. So take credit card, line of credits, mortgages, right? Come on, go, take it. Then you start to be afraid if you're going to be sustaining that income, right? Am I going to be able to pay for my bills next months? This is one of the big reasons why people get anxious and that anxiety, because it's unresolved. You never know the end of it. Mind always wants to resolve everything. Always wants to resolve everything. For example, if at some point you realized as a child that being in a great relationship and finding a great partner is like a key to success, what is going to happen? You'll get very anxious when you are alone. You will be will I be able to find that partner? Will I be able to get married before 30? Will I be able to have kids? I need to be successful. This is success. This is success in the family. So you'll get anxious. You'll have fear of loneliness, especially if there are other emotional moments in your life, because your mind always wants to satisfy your desires. So if you make that desire that I need to find a perfect partner, and that partner needs to love me unconditionally, and when those expectations are not met, this is when we become anxious. So fear drives anxiety. This is how it is. And fear is, you cannot get rid of fear. You will also have fear because fear drives us to do something. However, you also need to realize that you need to control the fear. You need to use it to your benefit, not the fear uses you. So if you make those things as important, money, career, recognition, acceptance, praise from others, right? You put your happiness into hands of other people. And that's when you get anxious, because you don't know. You don't know how. We never can predict people's behaviors. Well, in most cases, you cannot predict. You don't know what's going to happen. So that creates fear of uncertainty, fear of change, fear of fear of the future. All of that creates anxiety. It's a big, complex way how to get rid of anxiety or unreasonable, let's just say fear. The best way is to make important things that are actually free in your life. Self-love, self-care, passion, all of health, lifestyle, values. If you make those things important in your life, trust me, in the end, you will not have anxiety because you will be true to yourself. You will be authentic. If you don't, if you keep thinking that money, career, achieving goals, being perfect, being praised, accepted by someone is the most important thing, Till you change that, you will have anxiety. So start to focus in on something from within. Start to focus on important things. And all of those important things are free. You don't need to invest in them. It's just your own mindset, your own feelings and emotions. This is all you need to invest. And this is the best investment in your life. I hope this was valuable to you. And I hope you found really good insights into this video. If you have any comments, please comment below. If you have any other tips and tricks how to get out of anxiety, how to release those anxious feelings, please write down. I'll be happy to hear from you. And I love you all. If you want to overcome a lot of your emotional and physical pain, or to understand and reframe those beliefs from the past, rewrite your story, as Marisa Peer says, then you can enroll into my online course, a 3-week intensive course, Inner Transformational Course, You Are the Therapy, where you will be able to work through main issues that are bothering you in everyday life. I love you all. Be healthy emotionally and physically.